pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. One nation, liberty and justice. Thank you, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to June. So, one here. Welcome to the July 2024 Communication Committee meeting. In front of us, there we go. I have the minutes on top. Our first order of business is to approve the minutes from the June 2024 meeting, which John has prepared for us. I have in front of me. Everybody should hopefully have a chance to take a look it over. Any questions or suggestions to the minutes? Very good. Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve the minutes from June 19th, 2024?
I did.
Second. Second. Thank you, Jean. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Thank you. And it's a pass. Our next order of business is to call for public discussion, visitor comments, and this, as we know, we offer anybody in the audience, online, or here, if anybody would like to add any public comments, now is the opportunity to do so. Seeing none, we'll move on. And as we always say, if somebody were to pop on, they're always welcome to dive into on the program. Our old business. First thing we want to go over here is the new resident welcome letter. January, February, March mailing stats. One thing we do have to have a discussion just to check pricing on this. I just wanted to clarify for the supervisors as well and for the township to make sure that, I don't think it was understood immediately that would be quarterly. And is there a way that we could get pricing for a yearly? Or is that just per truck, correct?
I really don't know.
Okay.
I didn't look at anything other than per whole.
No worries. So the status of the new resident letters as of now is they have not gone out yet, correct, Ali? Or have they? I didn't think they went out yet, which is fine there as we are newer to this. So my proposal would be, and I wanted to bring this up at the next supervisor meeting as well. And again, we know the price is about $60 each time. So really, if we do it quarterly, we're looking, at just a couple $100 as well, $250. So roughly with taxes and all that. I don't think it would be an issue, but I definitely want to make sure that we re-clarify that for the supervisors. And since we didn't hand them out, I wanted to question everybody as well to talk about, our next steps. Like we were going to do it every quarter. Do we want to now do it maybe just 6 months? I think we kind of like the idea of the quarter as long as we get the payment because we justified that as we didn't want people to wait too long and miss anything else. But I just wanted to open that for discussion.
Starting with 2 new residents, and the whole purpose is to catch those new residents as soon as possible and get them engaged before they start getting normal mailings, the normal newsletters and things like that. So that was our discussion before that.
We agree. And I lean that way too. I just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page by it. So
I agree with that. However, since we're delayed in mailing out, maybe we should do 6 months just for this time.
That's what
down to June and then get quarterly.
And Terry, you set me up for my next question as well. That do we want to? So obviously we would have to do the 6 months this time since it's a new incentive. I think that's we didn't put on there. Welcome to our first thing if we wanted that. And even not, I still think 6 months is a nice gesture when we didn't have one before. We want to get that. But my question would be then, do we revisit again at the next quarter, or depending on.
So I want to clarify what my understanding. We just combining the mailing, the list that we had for
with an additional
March or April with this one, and it's just a combined mailing, right? But continue on a quarterly basis.
That would be my proposal as long as it's okay financially. But I just want to make sure everybody was okay with that. That we again review it another 3 months to keep going 4 months there. 3 months. But everybody's okay with that as well. So that's status. And then as soon as we hear anything from that, we did not have we don't have a work session meeting in July. So that's why I couldn't have it done. I did see some of the supervisors that are ribbon cutting and casually mentioned it. But again, I felt like, it was appropriate to have a discussion there, just to kind of get a consensus. I saw one of them, but I didn't want to bring it up there. So I figured it'd be best to discuss with everybody first too. But I just wanted to open up any other suggestions or anything, or if everybody's okay with that plan.
Holly, I sent you some information.
That's what.
Yes, this is.
Okay. Okay,
There's none. of this- That cost was a. Like I said, it's not a large sum of money, but it wasn't something that I think Joe put into a budget type of thing, so he wanted to discuss that.
so my question is, do you want to set up an account and research whether there's any other pricing options there, or have you set up an account?
Township, because that's his name.
I'm sorry.
Who pays it, it should come from the township.
That was our-
something that-
Okay. Right, so create an account and check out what options are there.
Thank you, Holly. And if you need any further, let us know as well. Be happy to help with that too. And again, I can't speak for everybody, but one thing that we do have, I think, our favorite too is, with every budget we have, we've used them. I think we've used really many, if any, amount of some. We try our best not to do that, so that could be helpful too. And I think if it's, for a minimal price to reach new residents, it's a good incentive. So, but we'll make sure we just clarify that as we always do to make sure it's not a problem. All right, any other questions or comments on that? And I think actually we should discuss before I close this out, it's based upon the conclusion of this, but I think we should run the numbers or plan to run the numbers, or not the numbers, but the names for our next meeting. So that we would have a list of names to go ahead for the combined 6 months, if everybody's okay with that. That's the only other note I have. Okay. Thank you.
So in terms of the letter, right? First of all, I'm not sure whether it's a typo or just the way it printed here. The constant contact, is that a comma after email, or is that a period? Like, if it's a comma,
Yeah, I just actually took what Kevin had and
Okay.
put it in there.
okay, no, that's fine. Okay, yeah, it looked like a period, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's a,
Yeah, and I think,
There's no doubt.
I think it's always printed. I know I have another copy of the print. I have them that I printed at home.
All right, so we're good there. As I got this, so I got this in email, and I'm looking at it in email. Right, and then it occurred to me in terms of the QR code.
Right.
I mean, if the intended distribution is an email, where the QR codes have value there, because you're not gonna bring it up on your computer, right?
I think-
And
is it supposed to be mailed?
Yeah, this is gonna be the copy of the mail that we're sending out to. the
okay,
residents.
hard copy, yeah.
But we did discuss making this a PDF, and I think keeping it on as a PDF just because as an extra option would work, but I agree with you. That was one
Yeah,
thing.
you don't.
It'd be too much of a hassle, I think, to take it off, put it on. Idea.
Okay.
But that's a great point. One thing I do like. Again, and I don't think we had this originally on ours, but Holly, I want to give you credit for this, this Pudding Township website, because I know we kind of wrote that, but I didn't know how it would look, and I think it turned out very well, and I appreciate that. I printed it right away and tried them and worked.
Yeah.
Good, very good. Any other questions? Okay. And let's go back to that. Well, thank you, everybody. Our next order of business is our business outreach letter. The business outreach letter mailing status, I don't think has started yet. I'm not sure. I did talk with Joe. Do you know? I wanted to make sure. I didn't know if it was complete yet, but. That,
So the fire inspections are a yearly thing. So it's basically going to every single business, so you start all over again.
no, we definitely appreciate that. Joe did say in conversation that we could still get our original goal was to get them all out there at once, and he said that still we mail them out there as well, so I didn't know if that has started.
I did not know that was the case. I thought we were just going to distribute them that way. Like, piecemeal all of that at once. I guess I can do that.
No worries, I'd be able to help with that as well. Double check with him too after our last meeting. But yeah,
So you- yeah. Helping would just be fully and putting it in up. Right. You've got people to do that. It's great.
Thank you, Holly.
Thank you for the offer.
No, absolutely. All right,
Okay, so it will be mailed to,
Is that what you want to do?
that's what I think we decided as a group, and we discussed at length, the pros and cons of that, but we felt that it'd be best to get it all out at once, and then just in case we update it in the future and stuff like that, nobody would be getting one behind. We would say, oh, who has this, who has that? We felt that was our original intent as well. But Joe said he did have a list of all the, he said, oh, we have all the addresses too, so.
so Holly, in the next month, will that go out or?
Well, we are onboarding a brand new person coming up very shortly, so I'm gonna be really involved with that. That person will probably be taking over this spot, while she's gonna be doing the majority of the communications within the township. So, I don't know if it's gonna be done within the next month.
And the comment on that too, in the talks,
Sure.
no worries, and just to help with that too, feedback, one thing that, I was discussing with Joe is this month's like, we've had vacations that went. So I said, okay, not a big rush, but we'll get that out, but that was one thing with the transition spots. But
Okay,
hopefully we can have some kind
but
of
if,
clearance.
but if,
We're also mailing all the septic system. Do that every year. We go through, see who has given us their information for their on-lot systems, who hasn't. That's a big push too. So we would do that every year as well. So that's like close to 300 some envelopes. It's fair. So
But if
that's
it-
going
if
on
it-
right now.
if-
I don't have
if this-
it.
if the outreach flare doesn't get done within the next month, right? Do we do it here? Do we stuff envelopes and stick stamps on them and at least it's out, within a month or at the very end of that month, right? But if you're, if you don't have the resources over the next month, then, should we take up the offer to just do it here instead of stuff them and stamp them and get them out?
And I think, like I said, and we said in the beginning, we're willing to help with anything we
Right.
can. We don't want to give extra work, so if that comes with it, that's not a problem for me. Whether we do that, before, during, after a meeting, that could be something for discussion, but I think we can explore it then if that comes to that as well.
The office staff does the office work. I don't know how to put it, but I mean.
Fair enough.
There's not another, I appreciate the offer, but there's not another committee out there that takes on the job that we do in there. You know what I'm saying?
We'd like to get down.
So-
No. But in regards, no, absolutely,
Get it done.
but we.
Get it done.
So what you're saying is this committee cannot do that kind of function?
Well, you can, but I don't see a
Okay.
reason for you to do that. You've
Okay,
offered.
well, if we can, and you don't have the resources to do it within a month, then we're willing and able to, so,
I'll let Joe know.
Okay.
Let him make that decision.
perfect. So, right, so Holly to get a decision from Joe that, if the township can't mail this by our next meeting, then we'll tentatively plan on just doing it as part of the meeting, right? Stuffing envelopes, getting them.
Have more direction once we check with the manager too, but I think it works. Any other comments? Questions? Okay. Our new resident welcome letter, I think we kind of covered a little bit back of A, which was how we're gonna see what the status is and get the April, May, June for our next. I think it's relevant to have it at our next meeting. I mean, we are in July, so that's why we wanted to make sure we get these, and that'll cover the newest people and get us back on schedule. And I do say, I mean, this is all trial and error, so anybody who might just be looking at this has been, we've made a lot of progress with this, and I think we're on a way to make sure that we have set a timing and a place for this committee, years from now, regardless of who's on the committee, to know how to make sure we can get these out in a timely fashion and reach all residents that, you know, that have just moved into our township that could use all this information. So I think we're on a good pace for that. Any other comments or questions regarding this? All right, we'll go forward to that new resident welcome letter. Our new resident page, township website. The committee finalized a draft recommendation to the Board of Supervisors. As we discussed last time, we actually went ahead and had a lot of discussion regarding the best layout for our township website if we were to have a welcome page, which we, you know, are hoping we can do here. The objective would obviously be to put it together where we have something that looks good. John went ahead and made it as close to our website really as possible. It looks really good. One of the things we were going for was simplicity. We have a whole list of things that we gave a lot of careful consideration into. And I think it turned out, you know, visually clear, not hard to find topics, links, needs to have structure, alphabetical, make it easy to find topics without scrolling through the whole packet. And I think with discussion, trial and error, and we took into what you were saying as well with your message, Jess, we came up with something pretty good here. Hopefully everybody has a copy of the newest one in front of you, which would be the one that Gene has, the suggestions. Take a moment to look it over if you haven't done so, and please offer any kind of insight, suggestions. The hope is that we can have an idea to finalize this. It's just possible.
Yeah.
So that's like this.
Which makes it, I think, dramatically, it's easier.
Well,
It makes it
better
it
because
does.
you're explaining about the township after the first sentence and then saying to look at the links we have, which is then underneath, so it's made sense.
I like it. I like the simplicity of it. I don't have any suggestions for this. Again, I think we cover a lot of things. There's a couple things that something else I thought of that could be added only because of as I said, I'm going to add under new business and update. I did reach out to the residential facilities that we didn't communicate with, but one of the things that they said right off the bat was, oh, they love the idea. Why don't we tell our residents that they can get discounted tickets and stuff like that here? So sorry for the cost, but so hopefully people will take advantage of it and start coming in, and we do have discounted tickets, discounted events for lots of theme parks, stuff like that, that are great things that people could be doing during the summer. And, you know, so that was one thing they were excited about. So that was one thing I thought of adding, but that thought lasted until I got home and looked at the layout again and thought, this is pretty simple. But that was the only other thing I had, and immediately talked myself out of it.
I just had one, but I'm not sure if it's possible. Is there a way to put a link on just for that sentence for trash, to put it on the left-hand side under everything else?
Well,
Just-
it is under frequently asked
I
questions.
know,
already.
yeah, I know.
Like this page, to me, this is basically the whole top of it is just a copy of what we have on our homepage.
We literally
Right.
copied, we didn't want to put any of our own.
The other thing is too, we're gonna be retweeting the website.
Okay.
Well, that said though, too, I mean, if we do redo the website, we still have the
Your
basis of what.
you know, not to-
Yeah, we still have the basis of what we want on there, so.
It's our locations. You know, voting district is under your community, you've got voting. Budget and taxes is under your community,
And
history is under your community, so. Basically, what it's doing is just taking a few items out of all of these and putting it into one spot under resident info.
Exactly.
And that's what we, so last meeting, we literally went off and with discussion, we decided not to add any wordage or just to really have a quick sum, you know, for anybody who might just come based off most questions. And, you know, we did our own unofficial survey, but we asked a lot of people, what do you think? What are things that you think of? And ourselves when you move to a different township, and things that we didn't think of by asking outside people as well, just family members we knew, were things like trash. That was the most popular question they had, where people would want to know. I grew up here, I never had to worry about, you know, looking or relying on the township for trash, but for a lot of people moving to different townships, different boroughs, they want to know, okay, who's going to get my trash? So that's why we thought we'll just throw that up here so people know not to go somewhere else. And we hoped that they would click any of these to bring it to our FAQs, to bring it to everything else, to encourage them to explore the website as well.
We don't want to reinvent the wheel.
Exactly.
It's already well oiled and functioned.
But we do know that attention spans are short and, people are busy and unfortunately. They might just go and click what they need and not realize that there's other things to point, click and to read about. So that was the intent of this. And yes, it is essentially a summary of everything on there. But we felt they were the best. We felt it was the best things to have.
I think your perception is right on. What we were trying to accomplish is one place that, brings together those few things that we think a new resident, somebody in the first 3 months,
Yep.
of residency would want to know about.
I will say that from a person who says. You have to remember to change things. When one thing's changed one places, then you gotta go to another place. I've run into that problem where I forgot that, oh my goodness, there's something about this little bit over here. And a resident will call and say, well, nothing's matching on. So it's more, let's say cumbersome. It's just more time consuming to change it here, then go to this page and change it here. So on the website, we've got maybe 3 or 4 pages that have similar information. You're changing it on 4 different pages. That's the only thing from an employee worker standpoint.
And from that standpoint, Holly, I'm glad you mentioned it too. One thing we were careful to do is we have all these things on the left is just a link to what is you would already have. So anything that has changed would just be there. This will still click you to history.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And the only other things that we
It would just
did
take
discuss.
you-
Just exactly, so there's no other work done, nothing, and that would be easier to create. Plus, the only other thing that would be something to change would just be office hours and phone numbers, but they were the only things that we kept. And this is, as you said, we copied and pasted, but no, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we didn't want to. We had great ideas, like we said, looking at all these different townships and boroughs, some of them, my first take, and I don't know about everybody else, was like, wow, look at this video, wow, look at this, oh, look at that graphics, this is so welcoming. But after going through them a while, it's like, well, it's getting boring and not everybody's coming for that purpose. So we kind of evolved it to keep it as simple as possible with the idea that it would be easy to do as well. We don't want to make any more work for you or anybody else as well.
That's cool.
Back to your comment then about the trash
The
as well.
trash, yeah.
Terry.
I know it's under frequently asked questions,
Mhm.
but they would have to know that they had a question about trash, they would have to know to go under frequently asked questions to find the trash link. My question is, can we do a separate little link for trash, just with those 2 sentences on the side? You know what I'm saying?
We did write trash in here,
I
but I
know,
see what you're saying, but just want to
yeah,
make sure.
I think it would
that
make sense if it was on the left-hand side.
It could, yeah, and even, I'm trying to think if we wanna, would you wanna still keep on the bottom, who do I contact for trash? Or do you think? Just put it only,
No, just have the word trash.
yeah,
But we also get calls on who's the water authority where you get your water. And then they put you have a well or something, some people have wells, and they don't have regular water. Sewer, like they call her to pay their sewer bill, so things like that happen all the
Yeah.
time. So
So, guess that
maybe-
brings up something else.
underneath contacts and links, I don't know, contacts and links over here, because I don't need contacts and links, but right at the top are all the utilities, including information about trash. Right there, so. But I don't know if you're going to put contacts and links over here or not. It is right now, it is underneath your.
these are great, this is great information as well, again. I think we said, well, we didn't want to invent the wheel, but we wanna,
I kind of like that idea.
I do
We-
too.
We add on the left, a link to the contacts and links page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would that work? Like,
Yeah,
and this is exactly what we were trying to achieve, well, Holly, the things that. You might get calls for this, okay, well, maybe we can alleviate some of them, just for somebody who, that might be the only information they want, oh, look at that, oh, might want to click this next time too, That's,
we had a phone call today from someone who's renting in the township. And she said, my trash hauling doesn't start until 2 weeks from now. Where do I take my trash until then? I just referred her back to the person that she's renting from.
yes,
I said, can you speak with whoever you write your check to on a monthly basis for your rent? Those are the people you should probably contact about garbage. we're just hold on to your garbage for 2 weeks. Let's try. So. There's a lot of questions. I've been here 20 years and I've never had a question like that. So. I'll learn something new.
So we want,
Yeah. These guys,
Yes,
So you're a place you can go.
I wouldn't drop it at a church. That's a suggestion.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I would just keep it in bags until
yeah,
further
so, yeah.
explanation, just try to be careful of what I'm describing.
Hey, some people put it on the side of bridges.
That's like,
Oh,
You see it. See it in rest stops.
yeah, anytime we volunteer, clean up, the most common thing I find is cigarette butts, so that was especially here. Not get too far off on that,
All right.
it's constant contact, or the contacts, I mean, not constant contact, contacts and links, I think, is great. I like where Terry's going as well, to add to that. Do we want to just put the trash and bring it to this, Holly, you might know off the top, I had it on my phone last time here, but it's under FAQ, the trash, I believe, it's not like a separate page, right?
I checked today.
So we could just bring it right to the FAQ, or do we want to write right there?
We just need
No
those two steps.
municipal, no township trash services. That could just make it simpler and keep what we have on the bottom. I don't know, it's another idea because you'd see it right away.
Yeah, just like kind of like we have all the information here and kind of doesn't belong there. You know what I'm saying? It should be like on the left.
Well, and John, maybe you could. Chime in with this, could we put, let's say if these lines weren't there and these are options, just maybe just a little square or something there that. I don't know how that would be
Yeah.
layout, we were trying to keep it the
We
same as the website.
can, right, we can see what it looks like.
Yeah, I think-
You've got some real estate there potentially. So,
Yeah. And I mean, I'm okay with that if it looks okay, definitely. And if not, then and I'm okay with all three really, and that's why, whether we have a trash that clicks us to the FAQ, or do we want to try to see if we put that whole paragraph there? I think that's where we're going to try first, is that what we're,
let me mock up all the versions and
Okay.
see what it looks like.
regardless, I think we should put something in trash, that's a great idea. Whether it be, nope, or whether it be a link. And I don't want to drag, I know one of the things is we didn't want to drag this out too long, we want to try to finish this up as. Best as we can, or quick as we can, but I think that was a Freudian slip there with the best, we want to make sure it is, we do have the best. Thing in front of us as well, but. If we can get a sample of this, kind of have an idea then. Next time. I think it's hard to say, and what I'm saying is, I don't know if we want to approve it yet, maybe go one more month with these corrections is best bet. We could add more to it, whatnot. While I wanted it to be done, I think it's a good to make sure it's correct.
I think we're in any rush.
No, and that's what I'm saying, it doesn't exist now, so you're gonna put it out there, it's great, and yeah, I think we want it to be good. We did this in the beginning, we'd have too much. And looking at other ones, oh, what else do they have? What else do they have? You realize this. Any other comments or questions about this layout? And Holly, if you have anything else, the most popular questions that you might receive here that just say boom.
Most of the
especially
public questions are for FAQs.
That's what we figured as well.
Back in 2004, created the website. We all sat down and put our heads together, all of us, the technical office at the time, and said, what are the most common phone calls?
Yeah.
And that's what became the FAQ. We've added a few over time,
Mhm.
like recycle your Christmas trees in there and stuff like that,
Yeah.
And then I'll take individual things. Like the Christmas tree thing. And in December, I put that on a separate little news
Right,
thing,
right.
that type of newsletter and.
And in conclusion that we had, collectively over the last few months, and especially last month we discussed, we love the website. The website has so much to offer, and what we're trying to do is just trying to make sure people are aware of that, especially the new residents. So we're not going to put Christmas tree right here. Unless they're moving in Christmas, that could be helpful, but we're thinking in general, and that's what our objective is, to let them see what we have up there. We don't want to change anything, like this is here, check it out. Now, that was the idea, but we do, just another shout out, as I say it again, website has a lot of great information. Comparing it to other websites in townships and boroughs, it's a good website that has a lot of information. We just want to make sure that people know how to utilize all of that. Any other comments or questions on or insights, ideas? Okay, John, thank you for laying this out again. It looks great. I'm really excited to see how this is good. All right, which brings us to our new business. One thing we mentioned was a digital version of the new resident welcome letter. And just to kind of jump on, we discussed this a little bit earlier. We wanted to have just a PDF version available too. We talked about the idea of saying, here's our welcome letter link right here, rather than put the whole letter right up on the website. And that way somebody can click it and have access to it, whether they're just exploring the website or whether they were brought there for a specific reason. To comment on that as well, it's kind of jumping in another new business. I did mention how I followed up with some of the residential facilities, especially the ones that I didn't hear back from. Again, the consensus is summertime right now, so it's it's a little busy right now, and not everybody does have room, but they do want to check it. But specifically, I wanted to bring up Montgomery Woods. They actually just got back to me too, and I wanted to read their response. Here we go. I did schedule a meet with them and got a email back here. It says, thank you for reaching out. We will definitely pass this information along to both our current and future residents. Keep them informed about the resources your committee provides. We appreciate you taking the time to stop by and meet with us. And there's new managers there. So I talked to the new property manager and the leasing professional, and gave them the same idea since they had the new ones, told them the idea of the welcome letter. They loved it. They asked for a copy of it. I told them it was they said, do you have a physical copy now? We'll leave it in the office. I said, well, it's not officially approved yet, but I said, hang on to this and, we'll see how it goes for this meeting. So they're excited about it. They want the idea of putting that up as well. They asked more about our committee. I explained to them how we have our meetings. They don't know if they have the means to have it at that facility, but they did want to Zoom with it. They were going to email possibly this month and definitely for next time to all their residents and future residents to share this information. So, and what I told them was the same thing as everybody else. We have a committee that just, wanted to make sure that everybody knows what's on our website, what kind of things we have. And as I mentioned earlier, alluded to, it was just as an example, the tickets and stuff that we have. Oh my goodness, somebody was just asking about that. They said, we didn't realize I had them. The idea of the maps, everybody loves the idea of trying to get anything we have. Because same with Pheasant Run, they said the same thing not a lot, but some of the residents don't have means to get to this office. So it could be in our best interest to make sure, they kind of stay stocked. That's something that we talked about as well. And I told them, I said, we'll bring them some more maps this week. I grab some tonight. And then if they need anything to reach out to the communications, kind of go from there. So again, my take is they were very excited about it. I had my summary, which was simpler. But yeah, again, anything for the best to do.
Bring us back to the topic.
Digital version.
The digital version. I have to admit, I'm not clear as to how you would use a digital version or what benefit it has over, either the mailing out the hard copy or, like you said, leaving copies of the hard copy with the lease. But
Right, and that's a good question, because obviously if they leave it at the desk, someone can go up and scan it. The talk of the digital version, and I'm glad you brought me back to this. Some of the things they were saying, they could let their new residents and current residents know about these meetings. They could also just click, they said that it's easy to put that in it. So they could have a digital version for a variety of reasons. They could print it.
okay, so what I hear you saying is that digital version is for use by other people for distribution.
They can use it, so the way I see it is, we currently have, for example, and bear with me, like our agenda is online for tonight, stuff like that is on our website. People didn't know, definitely check that out there. But all the agendas, all the meetings, all the documents that are needed, people can click on the view, if someone were to click it and print it out, so they could read it or let, anybody else in their house look at it, that's public. So I guess that idea is that it is on the website, whether it's for somebody's personal use or to give out, I don't know. Would I need one? No, I don't need it, I'd rather look at it so I can see it digital, I don't go through the paper or printing and all that. But I do know that there are people who would prefer, actually, I was just saying, the digital, there are people who prefer one or the other. What I would like to receive that is what I mean, but I would probably stick with the digital version to read it. Another thing, John, too, if somebody say lives here for a while, they just know it's a nice letter, by, Chairman Bergman, oh, okay, that's nice to read. I don't know, so I guess the answer is, we're just adding an extra element. Montgomery Woods indicated that they could use it to print out and put in their welcome packets, so they could use it for something like that.
So as a official, and once this is all approved, and everything, it becomes an official letter on township letterhead. Just by that nature, doesn't it end up on the website as a PDF or along with that sense, I'm not sure why we have to talk about a digital version residing as part of township documents different than anything else the township does.
Right, I guess, the reason we had it as new business anyway was to talk about whether we send it out to residential facilities saying, if you want to add this to your welcome packet, and I guess the other answer is, yeah.
Because if you're saying that, okay, we need a digital version, a specific digital version, because we are going to allow other groups to distribute it in that format. We want to provide this digital version, this PDF to these facilities with the intention that they will use it in their mailings or
Or
in
you
their
just print out and put on a desk or something, right?
And if that's what we're trying to do, that makes sense.
Right, you're saying let's create an incentive, send it out, how we're gonna do that. And I apologize, I see what you're saying there too. I did see it also, another element too, is whether or not and I think this is what I originally was thinking last week, because I was coming, whether or not we wanted to put a link to it here. And where we would put it, because currently it's not on the website, and yes, it would. But this is just something that we're sending out, I don't think there's any official, this would need to go on the website. Kind of thing, it's a letter to people or to residents, of course, it's public, it's not a problem. So I guess long and short end, there's not a specific thing, but I do like the incentive of, yes, let's offer it to residents, we could make sure. In an email, we could just say, hey, here's a copy of our new letter, you are welcome to share it with your residents, I think that's.
So if I can direct the question to Holly, so. Is there already I'm not sure the right term to use, a document library as part of the website where any forms, any official forms are already out there kind of things? I mean, if there's some specific form that somebody has to fill out, are all those forms and the documents already in a document library or one place in the website? No.
It varies based upon meetings, so if you wanted to see communications or park boards, when you go to the meetings section on the website, you'll see all the different things, and so it'll literally be like an underlink, so what you're clicking.
But those kinds of documents are time specific. The
Yes.
meetings, notes are date and time specific. I was thinking more of
Like an ordinance.
a
So,
form, like,
Okay,
those things do.
okay.
good question.
Okay, so in that case, I mean, that's what I would think, that if you had a document library. Not things like minutes and notes and date specific documents, but forms, official forms that, official documents.
Search it too. You can search like residential permit, nothing will come.
Yeah,
So if
yeah,
you're looking for, you know what you're looking for. Like most people aren't going onto the website just to see what type of documents they can find. They're looking for something specific. So if you were to go in and say, solicitation permit, up would come a link, you click on it, and it would take you to that document. So you can search it, but we do not have a page, no, it has everything on it. And we don't have a title or a letter or a page, just called, forms or anything like that. That's part of, this website has been going on for 20 years. So that's one of the things that over time, like PennDOT has them, because PennDOT has 87,000 forms. Because that's PennDOT, like we probably have 20, so it is a good thing to get them all under one spot so that people can start looking for it.
Okay, so good clarification, because in my mind, if you have a document library, then putting an electronic version of this letter or PDF it's nothing more than saying, just
Yeah.
moving it there,
Yeah, I
right?
see what you're saying.
You already have a library set up, it's already there to store documents like this. Just add one more doc, but if you don't have that, then it becomes a specific task to put this document someplace on your website, right?
And I understand where you're coming, so sorry for the runaround, but now I do appreciate that, and I see what you're saying. So in that regards, that's why I was saying, where do we put it? Do we want to have a digital version? That this is good discussion. This is exactly.
So do you think at some point the website will have a document library of?
It might, it's a website, it's not Encyclopedia Britannica, do you know what I'm saying? And it's not like it's PennDOT either, it's a township website, so. Our goal someday is to be able to fill out a permit completely online, pay for it completely online. Those are things that are beyond my. I don't know.
That's not.
And I wasn't hired to do that either,
No.
6 years ago, but that's beside the point. That is the goal, so. Down the road, township doesn't even take credit cards, down the road, credit cards, because it just costs money to do that.
But it's the question, can we service it? So,
Well, in my opinion, was if not having a library that you can simply drop this document into as another document, if it's going to be a task to add this document to someplace in the website, then I'm not sure whether there's value in doing that, right? If you want to, take the PDF, take I'm assuming a Word document, take the Word document, save it as a PDF and send it to the facility on a one-off basis. Great, do that, but I'm not sure whether, my understanding is, again, as of right now, to put this document someplace on the website is going to be a task. And I'm not sure whether it's worth doing that.
and another point is, this is really for new residents, right?
Right.
But like, if you want to direct people to these links, we have the reference guide, it's all there.
Yeah. And as you discuss it too, and Terry and Dean get your take too, you kind of point out the right thing. I thought that's what you're gonna start saying as well, Jess. It's like, you're a new resident. One of the things we wanted to do was keep it personal, so let's keep it, oh, look what I got as a new resident. I didn't get one. Well, you're not a new resident kind of thing. But keep it that personal touch, which is truly what we're trying to achieve here. We're trying to reach them in that tiling thing too. So that's another way of taking it as well. And so yeah, my opinion's changing. I like this. Any other suggestions or opinions, whether we should put a copy of this on the website itself or not?
At this point, we kind of, the new resident page, we kind of have
Yeah.
a lot of the information already.
I think so. I think it's worth discussions. Yeah. So I'm okay if everybody's okay with that, then
And if-
just let them know
and
that's.
Some ask people, it's just email them the PDF, right?
And I think once we officially, well, it is pretty much officially finalized, I think we're good to present, but before we do it too, is that okay with everybody if I just do a follow-up? Here's a PDF of this, so you have it if you need. That way they can print their own if they want, put it in. Put it in a frame, keep it in their area, and that's something they could do, it's their prerogative, but I like that. Thank you, John.
Holly, once Chairman Bergman signs it, do you have a signature block that you actually add to the Word document, or do you have to have him sign it and then image it in order to get that?
Holly doesn't work.
Signature block.
Do it official.
He signs everything by hand.
Okay, and then, and so to distribute a signed version electronically to a facility.
It would be just scanned in.
Just the
Yeah,
PDF,
okay.
right?
Right.
Perfect. Good question though as well. Any other, and I forgot about the signature part there too, so thank you, and thank you, Holly. Any other questions or comments on this? All right, and one more new business I wanted to bring up, Jess, you mentioned, can turn it to you, but one more new business.
Yeah, so I sent an email around. I'm enrolled in a master's program and the past 2 semesters, I have had classes on Thursdays, Tuesdays, but this semester I have to take a class on Wednesday. So I don't have a choice. So I just kind of want to
Ask.
yeah, right. The other 20 people don't count. I just want to put it out there, like, you know, like I'm not gonna be here, obviously, but I'm happy to help off hours time.
When does?
Just one semester.
Just one semester, so it would be September, October, November. I think it would just be September, October, November, yeah. Hmm?
Basically, no, it would be 4 months, because that would be after the August meeting, so September.
Yeah, and December it ends the 11th. So I should be back for December,
So 3 months,
right?
yeah.
Again, I don't wanna lose you, but. You know, and one thing we do, you know, they are announced like just for residents' sake, you know, at the beginning of the year, to keep on that thing. Definitely, what do you feel? Do you feel you could still definitely help out? Like,
I would like
it's like
to.
this, you have in the past, like, oh yeah, put this in like last week was perfect. We added, you know, took it into account. Yeah, especially if it's just a few months, like, we don't wanna, I don't see the need that we have to get a replacement per se.
Yeah, I would like to say.
Yeah, especially. Yeah, and I think, you know, if we could always try to change as we have before, I think try to. Again, even if it was me, I would say, I think we should try to limit, you know, doing that as much as possible for residents' sakes as
Right,
well, and then we
yeah.
have to send out the notices and whatnot too, so. I don't want to sound cool, but I'm saying if you're okay with that, and in the end, I'm really glad.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure, I was like, we'll let you turn here, see how long it takes, and congratulations on
Thank you.
masters.
Bergman.
In organizational dynamics. At Penn, but I started in fall of 2023. So my 3rd class,
It's great, it's great.
something like 5 years.
We'll miss you for a few months, but we'll definitely keep us updated.
Okay,
We'll keep
great.
you-
Yeah, and I'll be here. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Any other business anybody would like to add here, before we summarize? Very good meeting, everybody. Again, you guys definitely swayed me in a few ways there, which I like the discussions that we have here, but I think what we need to do first and foremost is finalize our new resident website. Again, we have everything else, I think, in order. Next time we will go over January through June's. We will have more information on that as that becomes available, hopefully within the next couple of weeks here. And again, we had so many different things we had last week even too, where we wanted to add more, so we would have a full agenda, and it turns out we continue to have these full agendas here as well. So I would love to, you know, throw some more things out there, but I encourage everybody to continue to keep the idea, you know, look at this that we had in the past, if there's something they say, hey, this is something that we could, you know, start to talk about how we can tackle next. I think we're making good progress here, and again, we're not.
So for next meeting. Potentially, we're stuffing our books if it comes to that. Right? Do we want to revisiting our backlog of potential topics? Are we at that point where?
I think we should keep it fresh. I went over it, as I was saying, I went over it this month, really, I went over it this weekend. At length, looking at websites and all too as well. And it's exciting to look again, but I think that's what I was saying. Definitely look it over, think of some ideas and, you know, discuss further, I think, after we tackle this. that's what I was saying, I saw some that I really want to say, ooh, this one, and honestly, when we close the meeting, I'll throw a few out at you to think about. But, you know, I thought that would be fun, but I didn't want to jump too far ahead, I mean, it's best to wait, see where we go. But I definitely would encourage everybody to continue to look at that, think of any other ideas. I also wanted to add that, and I was hoping for this one, but as they indicated, they definitely, I just gave the township link, you know, saying the information on the township. Here's how to get on our Zoom there. They said, we'll be happy to send this to our new residents as well as our current residents and future residents. Because they think it's a great idea for the residents to stay involved. And that's something that I think I'll encourage anyone to, you know, I'll definitely drop off the rest of the stuff, but I'll make sure I have the Zoom paper and say, you know, if you want to share this, get people to come to the meetings and even in person, and also not just Zoom, we have the address as well. I just figure with the weather, we might be more likely to have somebody hop on there. And that could always give us some new insight of what we want to do as well, so. Again, I think, good job, everybody. I'm looking forward to where we will go from here. Any other comments or questions? Suggestions, ideas? Save them for next month then as well. All right, with that, do we have a motion for adjournment?
To adjourn.
Thank you, Jean. Second,
A second.
Terry, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay, all perfect. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Holly, and
Thank you.
Thank